Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. So I'm not one to really read or analyze silver graphs or silver charts, but I did learn a little bit while investing into cryptocurrency over the last 2 years, and candlestick graphs can potentially show a lot of information and give a lot of indicators where silver is headed. So I found an article from Seeking Alpha. The link will be in the description if you want to also check it out for yourself, where he analyzes a candlestick graph of the silver market prices. And I think it's pretty interesting because he goes over the summary. He explains it a little bit. This article was written yesterday, July 29th. So it's fresh and it's relevant. So I just want to share this with you guys because I do think that there can be some information to be acknowledged and to be talked about in this matter, because silver price has been really interesting lately. A lot of stuff has been happening. There's also some other points that are definitely happening in the precious metal world that he also announces, and that is the Fed announcing the 50 basis point cut rate, or the rate cut. And that's going to be really interesting as well in the next week or so. So anyways, let's jump into this article. It says, what is the silver market price telling us now? So the summary is, precious metals investors are once again excited about silver as the price has shot up 10% in the past month. I am not saying silver price will go back down to $15.50 level, but if it did, it wouldn't be unusual for traders, and that's definitely true even with the physical precious metals investors. If the Fed announces a 50 basis point rate cut during the FOMC meeting, we could see silver price break out significantly above the 200 MMA of $16.76. So, goes into saying, precious metals investors are once again excited about silver as the price has shot up 10%. Not only has silver experienced some nice gains in July, but it has also broken out above its multi-year symmetrical triangle formation, which is just some candlestick chart lingo. But what is the current silver market price action telling us about where the shiny metal goes from here? That's the main question. While we have seen some nice daily moves in the silver price, it seems to be peaking around $16.60 area for the past week. So he's saying that there is some resistance around this $16.60 range. Currently, the silver price is trading at $16.62 at midday. So this is definitely silver's resistance level right now. So if it does break out past that, it will be really interesting to see where this goes. Furthermore, the silver price has outperformed gold, pulling the gold to silver ratio down from 95 to 1 at the beginning of July to 85 to 1 Thursday, which is really, really good. It's really healthy. I was making lots of videos talking about the ratio when it was like 93, 94 to 1, because that's extremely out of whack. That's way out of proportion. But an 85 to 1 ratio is still, it's getting better. And I always mention what would happen to if the ratios were to normalize. This means either gold has to depreciate or silver has to appreciate in value. And looking like silver is the one that's coming up to gold, which is really nice to see. Which means in just a few short weeks, 1 ounce of gold can now only buy 85 ounces of silver compared to, yeah, we already know what that means. So talk about a significant change in the gold to silver ratio in a relatively short period of time. I definitely thought if it was going to normalize, especially back to 85 to 1, it would take a couple months, not, a week. So where does the silver price go from here? Good question. Well, if we look at the following long-term monthly chart of silver, we can see that it has broken out of the symmetrical triangle formation, but has also moved nicely above the 50-month moving average. That's what MMA stands for, the blue line at $16.23. So here is the candlesticks chart. So if you don't know what candlesticks are, it's a way to look at the chart and analyze silver's prices from the day to day. The white line means it's going up, red line means going down. There's a lot of different lines you can see where it's like showing correlating levels, and where it's not something I can just explain in one video. I still don't understand candlestick charts to the max, but you can see it will show a line right here showing what the high was and the low, and then it's some indicators like He's saying silver has broken out of the symmetrical triangle formation above at the 50-month moving average. The next important key level to break through is $16.76, the 200-month moving average. So once it breaks past this can be a huge indicator for some really nice gains in silver. And then this $15.50 price right here is possible correction level, saying that it could go back down to this if it doesn't break past this resistance. So this right here is a really key indicator to show what silver's price is going to do. Not saying that this is always correct, but these candlestick graphs or charts are actually pretty accurate. And the symmetrical triangle is talking about is right here, you can see, and right here, these two lines where they meet up, and it would be about right here. So right here is going to be a lot of information to show where silver can go in the next couple weeks. So he does explain it a little bit. So each candlestick in the chart above represents 1 month's worth of trading. As we can see, the silver price has surpassed the 50 MMA and is attempting to reach the next important key level, the 200 MMA, which is that red line at $16.76. I would bet that the silver price will at least touch $16.76 level or go possibly higher before any correction takes place. And that's interesting to point out. Why? Because it wouldn't be unusual for silver to pause for the moment and correct back down to the $15.50 before going higher, which is also natural and healthy for any market. Not every market's it's not healthy for something to just shoot up and just keep exploding. You know, there has to be corrections, there has to be sell-offs. You know, that's healthy for every market. No market's just going to explode, and you saw what happened when Bitcoin did that. That was not healthy. But anyways, however, the $15.50 level is critical for the silver price for it to remain in a bullish trend, because that is the top of the symmetrical triangle formation. So it's actually better if it does go back down, because then it will have better tends to be bullish in the later days. I have seen this day in and out of the markets. A large percentage of stocks will go back and test the breakout area before moving higher. Of course, it's not a guarantee that this will occur, especially how crazy the markets have become with the Fed possibly cutting rates next week. But we shouldn't view it as an unfavorable if it does happen. A lot of people do want this to happen, a lot of silver stackers, but it is interesting that he mentions that. He's actually making a lot of really good points in this, because he's even incorporating the X factor, the thing I always talk about, the unknown factor of what can happen in the future in the economy as well. That plays a huge indicator, and that's a huge influencer on silver's price. And I'm glad he also mentioned that, because usually people that read charts like this don't really incorporate what could happen in the economy, which also is a major factor and driver to silver's price. So I'm really glad that he's also incorporating some relative things that can go on besides just looking at this graph, and especially something that's as big as what he did mention. Now, if we look at the daily silver chart, $15.50 level is also a key support area. So silver is overbought and could fall back to the $15.50 level before moving higher. The $15.50 level is key to hold over the next few weeks. So this is a really important price. It really is. It's key that it stays at least right here. It has resistance right here, because if not, then we could be in bad waters. Please understand, I'm not saying the silver price will go back down, but if it did, it wouldn't be unusual. This is yeah. So let's see if he says anything else. Okay, here we go. As I stated several times, if the breakout occurs, the price finally pushes through a critical resistance level in a big way. So when silver broke out of the upper symmetrical triangle line in a monthly chart, it also broke above the very same $15.50 resistance level on the daily chart. However, breakouts tend to be more impressive when they do so from longer term chart formations. It will be interesting to see the silver price performs over the next 7 to 10 days before and after the FOMC meeting on July 30th to 31st. If the Fed announces a 50 basis point cut rate, then we could see the silver price break out significantly, and this price remains close for the level, will remain close to this level for the next week. So very interesting article. I thought that it was it's just interesting to read charts, especially candlesticks, because they do give a lot of information. But I'm not saying this is definitely something that you can take to the bank with you. It's something that's just it's theoretical, but there is statistics in it. So, but it's looking at the historical data to show the futuristic data, which is interesting. But like he even mentioned, you know, he's done this time and time over, and there's definitely some indicators and some comparisons that are relative to this. So I'm curious to see what happens. I thought this was a pretty interesting article. Like I said, I'm more of the long-term stacker, so I don't really care about the day-to-day average or the day-to-day prices. I'm in it for the long term. I see the bigger picture, but stuff like this is interesting, especially from July 30th to the 31st, to see if these cut rates do happen and what's going to happen with silver price from there on. So I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you did enjoy this video, or even thought it was educational, at least make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you already haven't. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.